to get to that new goal, to get to your double goal, all those things that you're gonna need to put in place to hit your double goal, you're probably gonna experience fear. And that's what I mean by fear is a direction.
I want to change lives. I want to show people how to progress in their money. I want to show people how to progress in their mindset. I want to show people how to progress in their brand so that way they can take care of their family, take care of their finances, and experience freedom.
Hey, I want to share with you what I mean by the fear, or fear is a direction. What do I mean by fear is a direction? You ever know that feeling that you get in your stomach, that feeling that you get in your gut when you're like kind of nervous and you're like thinking about, oh hey, I'm nervous, I'm fearful, and some people call that butterflies. I'm here at the UPS store, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, so the door's locked, but I got the keys to the place. So you ever have that feeling of fear when fear is overwhelming you? Here, place is locked up, but Andy Audate has the keys to the place. So here's what I mean by this. I want you to think about the times in your life that you may have been scared, you may have been nervous, you may have been saying to yourself that, hey, I don't know what to do next. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm a little bit scared, I'm a little bit fearful. When you have that feeling, what I want you to think about is like those butterflies, fear, that fear in your stomach, that fear in your gut is actually the direction for you to go into, not the direction to stray away from. Like, I want you to think about this. There was a few scenarios in my life where I constantly found that to be true, whether it be walking up to women, connecting with women, or even like buying a car like this, right? Buying one of the cars of my dreams, a Mercedes-Benz of the year, 350, the big boy, right? And as I remember being at the dealership, signing the papers saying, hey, man, I'm nervous. You know, I never made an expense this big. I never invested this much in a vehicle. And now on that, like, this is one of my cars. So, and what I'm sharing with you is that this feeling that's in your stomach, this feeling of like, hey, I'm nervous, I don't know what to do next. Whenever you're feeling that nervousness of, I don't know what to do next, I'm not too sure, I'm not too clear. Typically, the one that you should do is the one that you fear the most. Typically, the one that you should do is the one that you fear the most. Like, I want you to think about the times in your life as you've done things in your life, whether it be business, whether it be finances, whether it be relationship-wise or school or things of that nature. As you look back and you see the area that you were scared of, and you revert back to in your mind, and you're like, hey, I remember I was completely nervous to take on this leap. And when you did it, there was blessings on the other side. I want you to imagine like there's a mountain, and the mountain is fear. Like there's a mountain of fear, and then you're at the edge. And then while you're at the edge of the mountain, on the other side of that mountain is the blessing that you're looking for. And the mountain itself is the fear, and you just got to overcome this fear. Now, you have two options when you're at that mountain. You could go back to what you know and what you're comfortable with, or you can move forward in fear. Fear is the direction to go into. So how do you handle this? Number one, you want to write this down. Think big. Now, what am I talking about thinking big? Well, because if you're thinking big, whatever you're fearing is going to be small, shall be small in comparison to your big thoughts. So, for example, let's say, for example, you're talking about you want to have a business that makes you're thinking right now of, I just want to make, for example, I want to make 100 grand a year. So that could be $8,000 a month. You just want to make 100 grand a year. So that could be your thoughts. Well, if you think like $1 million business owner, if you think like $1 million earner, that's the big thinking for you. That's 10x. If you wanted to think like a millionaire, what's going to end up happening is that the decisions that you make to help you get to $100,000 pale in comparison to $1 million business owner. So let's imagine this. Like, for example, this is a Mercedes-Benz. This Mercedes-Benz cost, a sticker price is just under $70,000 for this car. Okay, so in Florida, this entire car, you can actually buy a home you can buy two homes in Florida with this one car. Now, if you're thinking like $100,000 business owner, $100,000 a six-figure owner, $100,000 business owner, then when you think about buying a car like something like this, you're gonna think like, oh, this is too much. But if you think big, where you're thinking like $1 million owner, $1 million business owner, then this is obviously, pretty cheap. This is pretty small. This is nothing in comparison to your income goal, right? So I want you to have a double goal. Now I'm gonna share with you what a double goal. And if you ever been to a restaurant called In-N-Out, I'm not talking about the double at In-N-Out. A double goal is where you take your goal and then you double it. So for example, your goal is $100,000 and you double it. So now your new goal is 200 grand. But then here's the caveat. You double it one more time, making it a double. So now you want to operate from a double goal. Make your decisions from a double goal. So if your goal is $100,000, but if your goal is $100,000, you want to double that once. Now your new goal is 200 grand, but you got the caveat is that you got to double it one more time, going from 200 grand to 400 grand. Same thing, for example, let's say your goal is $500,000, 500,000. You double it once, that's $1 million. That's your $1 million target. And then when you double it one more time from $1 million target, now your new goal is $2 million. Now you got a $2 million target. Now you got to operate from that $2 million target. So that means that your decisions are going to come from your new double goal, right? So when you make a decision to grow your business, you want to come from the position of your double goal. So if you're thinking about your $500,000 goal, and then what happens is that you're typically, the way that humans operate, we underestimate the actual effort that it's going to take for you to hit and strive for your goal. You ever do that thing where, for example, hey, I just need if you want to make $500,000 a year and that's your actual goal, and you're like, okay, if I just want to make $500,000 a year, I need 500 customers at $1,000. You ever do something like that where I need 500 customers at $1,000, 500 customers a year at $1,000. You divide 500, divide that by 12, and I just need X amount of customers per week. You ever think about that? And then what happens your first week as you hit, your first week, and you miss your goal by 1 or 2, or maybe 3 or 4. And then you're like, okay, I'll just make it up next week. And then as time goes by throughout the year, throughout the month, throughout the year, throughout the quarter, and so forth, you're trying to make up what you failed for last month or the month before. So the solution for this is the double goal. Now, when you make a decision from your double goal, so in this example, 500 grand, you take that number, you multiply it by 2, you double it. So now you're at $1 million, and then you double it one more time. Now you're at $2 million. When you make a decision saying, hey, okay, $2 million. In order to make $2 million, well, hey, I can't do it by myself. I'm going to need a team. Now you're thinking in the right mindset, right? So in the beginning of the year, instead of saying, okay, I just need to make X amount of dollars, X amount of clients, X amount per week, divide that by, X amount of days. Now divide that by X amount of hours. I only need to make $150 per hour. When you're coming from that perspective and you take a nap one day, you miss your target one day, you're starting to catch up. Now, next month, you got to catch up because what you failed the last month and so forth. The solution is the double goal. Now, once you have your double goal, make decisions to grow your business, your lifestyle from your double goal. So as you make a decision of your double goal, then you're going to say, hey, I might need a team. Hey, I may need to automate some things in order to hit that new mark. Because if you go from 100 grand, for example, let's say your target is 100 grand, you go from 100 grand to 200 grand. That's your first double. Then you double again. Now you're at 400 grand. The effort to make $400,000 is going to be different than to make $100,000, right? $100,000 comes out to $8,333, right? But in order to make $400,000, you're going to need to make at least $30-something thousand a month. Well, now you're thinking to yourself, well, damn, if I need to make $30,000 a month, the original $8,000 a month, $8,300 a month for me to make 6 figures a year. Well, that original target was me doing it by myself. But in order for me to make it $30,000 a month, to make that 400 grand a year, man, I'm gonna need to, have help. I'm gonna need to put processes in my business. I'm going to need to put systems in my business. And that's the key to actually hitting your goal. Now, when you have that new goal, to get to that new goal, to get to your double goal, all those things that you're going to need to put in place to hit your double goal, you're probably going to experience fear. And that's what I mean by fear is a direction. Because let's say, bad case scenario, you don't hit your $400,000 goal, you hit half of it, and you're at 200 grand. That's better off than your original 100 grand, right? 100 grand goal. In order to get there in the first place, you probably had to hit a double goal in the first place. Not only that, you probably had to experience fear. So in the pursuit of trying to experience success, in the pursuit of trying to take your life to the next level, you're going to experience a tremendous amount of fear. Tap into it, feel it, and understand that is the direction that you need to go. Understand that is the pursuit. That is the focus that you need to take. I remember when I first met my fiance, my now fiance. I'm going to be marrying her in 2 weeks. And I'm grateful to God. And I remember just every time I had that experience, God willing, like, our relationship is full of love and long term and long lasting. Everything has to have God in it. So that's the first and foremost. That's why I say God willing. I remember the time I pursued her in the beginning of our relationship, where like she was a complete stranger to me. Every time I would contact her, I got nervous. I got fearful. I'm like, okay, this is a fear is a direction. This is the fear direction thing for me. Like there was a time, for example, where she wasn't even responding to my messages. I would call her, she wouldn't pick up the phone. I would text her, she wouldn't answer the text message, she wouldn't respond, and so forth. And I remember I got nervous one night where I said to her, I texted her and I said, hey, I want to let you know, like, I've been attempting to reach out to you, but you ain't responding. And I remember I got fearful, I got nervous, I got scared to send that specific message where I was telling her, like, hey, I'm letting you know, like, you're not responding to my messages. And I acknowledge that. I want you to acknowledge that fact that I'm making an effort to build a relationship with you, and you're not reciprocating that. And I remember that night that I sent that message, I was super nervous, super scared. I was fearful. I was like, damn, like I'm nervous. I'm scared to send this message because this is like attacking the situation. I could be, my mind is telling me to be passive, but the principle of fear as a direction is telling me to go into that position and send that message and tell her, like, hey, I'm making an effort and you're not reciprocating the effort that I'm making. Well, come to find out that day that I sent that message, because I understood that fear was a direction, she instantly responded back to me. She says, I recognize that you've been making an attempt. I take a full responsibility. Hey, let me call you tonight. And that night is the shift of our relationship. That night is the night we became best friends. That night is the night that on the phone that we spent hours upon hours just talking and communicating and starting our real, genuine relationship that led all the way to where we're at now, getting married in literally 16 days. So what I'm sharing with you is, when you want something, whether it's your original goal or your new double goal, when you want something, in order to get there, in order to get it, you're going to experience fear, because fear is the direction for you to take. If you're committed to it, like for me, I was committed to courting this woman and building a relationship with this woman. And if she was the one at the time, hey, marrying her, which is why I got the ring. So I was committed to her, and I was committed to that pursuit, and I was committed to my desire in that pursuit, which was to build an actual relationship with her. And in the pursuit of it, I had to make decisions. And one of those decisions that I had to make involved me honing in and experiencing fear and taking action amongst that fear. So what I'm sharing with you is, you're probably feeling fear to go do something, to go to the next level. Take advantage of an opportunity of a lifetime in the lifetime of that opportunity and take action despite the fear, because fear is the direction. That's the direction to go. Like if God could tell me, like, hey, this is what I want you to do. Like you ever get in a position where you're like, man, I wish God can give me some clarity. And you got two options. One option is something that you're comfortable with. The other option, you're scared. you're nervous. The other option you're nervous about. One option, you're like, hey, I could do this. I know I'm comfortable. But there's a second option. And that second option, you're nervous. You're fearful. I believe that's God telling you right there, like, hey, go do that option. Go do that option. Or even better yet, it could be like the devil trying to stop you from achieving the blessing that you want. And there's a butterfly in your stomach. Take advantage of that opportunity. Go all in, experience the fear, and recognize that fear is actually the direction. So that way you can experience the blessing that you're looking for on the other side. I share this message with you this morning because I love you and I care about you and I truly want you to succeed. So that way you can take care of the friends, take care of your family, and take care of the people that depend on you to be successful. Because that's the reason that you and I are on this earth, is to help other people. I love you and I'll see you on the next video.